British Columbia is reporting record numbers of drug overdose deaths. In July, 175 people died using illicit drugs, with fentanyl responsible for 4 out of every 5 victims. This comes as the world marks International Overdose Awareness Day. Joining me now is peer clinical advisor for the British Columbia Centre for Substance Abuse, Guy Felicella. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Well, July was not a good month. It marked the 3rd consecutive month where more than 170 people died from suspected drug overdoses in British Columbia. Talk to me about what's driving the spike that we're seeing.
Well, the contaminated drug market is completely unpredictable and continues to be so every day. I mean, more people die in British Columbia due to the toxic drug supply than homicides, motor vehicle accidents, suicides, and COVID combined. And it's just, simply tragic.
Well, yeah, I think that bears repeating. So let's say that again. The number of people dying in overdoses is surpassing deaths from homicides, motor vehicle incidents, suicides, and COVID-19 combined. And as we've been saying, fentanyl is responsible for most of them. How and why has its use become so widespread, given that it's so fatal?
Well, I think, economics for organized crime is it's just easier to transport and you make a heck of a lot more money off of it. So really, for the drugs that heroin was the drug of choice for many years, it's very challenging. You can't find heroin in British Columbia. It's all fentanyl now, which is, people have now transferred over to using that drug, and it's ruthless.
All right, well, let's talk priorities. You've called safe drug supply the #1 priority. In March, the province rolled out new guidelines allowing doctors to prescribe some pharmaceutical alternatives to street drugs. Has that been effective at all?
For some, yes, but for most, no. And it's really because it's contingent on a prescriber if they're willing to prescribe it, and it makes it extremely challenging. So also, to the College of Physicians, have been rather challenging in supporting it. So with all that saying, we have, it's basically pandemic prescribing. I don't really call it a safer supply version. And, the federal government and the federal health minister have been MIA in addressing the contaminated drug supply. They've sprinkled a few pilot projects across the country, but not nearly enough to, remove people completely from that drug market.
We've been talking a lot about British Columbia, but overdose deaths have spiked as well in Ontario, Alberta, and Saskatchewan this year. This is a national problem. Do we need national leadership on this file?
100%. Like I said, the federal health minister needs to, and the federal government needs to create a domestic supply of diacetylmorphine and implement these programs right across the country. In order to remove people from that drug supply. And if we don't get to a place where we can actually give drug users the drugs that they're seeking, this is going to be, going on for a long, long time. And not everybody that uses drugs is addicted to drugs, but everybody's at risk of overdose from using these drugs.
Guy Felicella, thank you very much. We appreciate your time on this really important file.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.